everyone. This is a beautiful Christmas 2021 going to 2022. So we have students of mine. While they have experience as a practitioner of Reiki already, a few people to say a few things now is to encourage people to be more open-minded and allow the goodness of Qigong to be part of their life too.
I definitely experience much more stronger Qi with the Qigong than I ever experienced with Reiki practice. I feel it more intensely. I feel it more in my hands. I feel it more in my body. I have been on the receiving end of Fa Qi, and it actually is quite amazing.
I'm a Reiki master. I'm very grateful to have the training and ability to do energy work through Reiki. I enjoy doing it. However, sometimes I get very tired from doing the Reiki. So I was really drawn to the Qigong in a way to bring my energy up so I could actually do more Reiki healing. And in the process of doing that and learning the Qigong, I experienced the Fa Qi, and it was just miraculous. It's a different vibration. I'm not in any way discounting the healing that comes through Reiki. I think it's very beautiful and honorable. I'm just very drawn to the Fa Qi, and I think it's absolutely miraculous, and it really preserves my energy while I'm doing it. So I would really recommend it to anybody practicing another modality.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a deepening understanding of the co-relationship for myself. Like even the mystery of how Reiki emerged and returned through the mountains, and perhaps where those knowledge beds were before, and to know that there was Kiko and Qigong all across Japan at the time that Reiki returned. So something that emerged through the Qi as opposed to being separate from Qigong practice for myself is how I experienced it. So if anyone's had the opportunity to experience a Tibetan transmission similar to Han Yong Gong, myself, the master, and all of creation, it's a similar where once you receive an initiation, it never leaves you. It actually opens up the field to attune to your original nature in whatever aspect that is. So whether we're practicing or not, it never leaves us. Similar to practicing Qigong once or receiving a transmission in this circle, it never leaves us. It actually, I've met many even Indigenous healers from across Canada who received a Reiki transmission, who received their first level, but they don't practice, but it actually attuned them to their original nature, to be open to the gifts that they carry in this life and for that pathway. And that actually, as you know, within the 21 days, you go through where the whole field biorelates with that energy. So you actually, like sitting in a lukewarm bath, you forget that you actually are of that resonance. And it moves through the field. And similar to Qigong, I remember sitting with Master Teresa when we were visiting the family and Grandmaster Wu. I remember him coming in and receiving just a little bit of his presence in the room. And I remember just bawling and crying. Like it just opened me, and it was a very different than Reiki. It was a very different presence. It comes from a beautiful lineage. And like, I love the name that Master Teresa is moving with now with Pureland because of the ancestral lineage. But for me, I feel like even the nature, when you think about a martial arts practice, it has a signature. A move has a signature, just like in the writing, in order to accentuate the Qi in a specific type of way. And so I think I deeply respect my teacher, Corey Kroijmans, in Thailand, because she integrated, she also learned Qigong. So she was very circular, I guess, in the way that she related to it as opposed to linear. And so it helped me at that time of learning come into relationship with it. But for me, similar to what Mary had mentioned, I experienced a different power, a different integration. When I met Master Teresa, perhaps I was at a different point in my journey. But maybe that's a few other things to add to what was shared about my experience and my relationship to continually kind of learning the different parts.
Yeah. Aaron, maybe you can give them some background, how intensively you have studied Reiki, so people understand where you're coming from. And then you also is a yoga instructor.
Thanks. Yeah, it was one of those things. I think it was about 16 years ago. My mom was receiving cancer treatment. She had brain cancer, and I had a message to do my master's training or that teacher training, because I had a feeling, even though we were shrinking the tumors, that she was ready to leave and that I had to prepare myself. And so that weekend, I'm trying to think of Lynn's name right now in Toronto. We had a beautiful ceremony over the weekend. She was opened up the space to see me and to help me at that point. And I was able to help. It helped me support my mom in the coming seasons. But then when I went to Thailand, I was there and I hadn't planned to doing training again, but I met Corey, and Corey offered a month-long Reiki teachers training. And so we worked in the cancer care hospices, the psychiatric wards. We worked in the like some of the villages and worked with people of all ages that came in. So that was really good for me because I didn't have a lot of confidence, as much confidence, or understood the nature of the transmission. You know how it is, you do it, especially when you get to do an immersion, as you have done here with the women, something it was really important for me at that time in order to carry it in a different way. So that I had that opportunity where I took that time to be in that place. But yeah, it came out of, I guess, as I think we're all called when we have that sense that we need to continue to go deeper.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Erin. That was a wonderful explanation, and that I also agree with you that I found that when I was practicing Reiki, and Erin, I don't know if you found this too, I felt myself being depleted of Qi and sometimes exhausted by practicing Reiki.
I think every time is a little bit different, but there is, I think that the nature, and Teresa, I think Master Teresa would catch me a lot, like when we want to care for someone. So then we start to give, like, you know, when you, especially when you're really close to someone, so you naturally your own Qi. I myself, I understood that one of the reasons that they fasted for Reiki was because even in the Kiko and those traditions, it was natural for the masters to use their own energy. So one of the reasons why he fasted for Reiki was to so that he wouldn't deplete their own Qi. So it's a bit of a paradox that sometimes we come back to a form that was created for that, but we do, it's, I think, part of our human nature until we are able to be in the flow.
That's so true. We just love people, and then we want to give. And it's so beautiful that Reiki is teaching me to give faster too. If it wasn't Reiki, I would not think about doing teaching healing so quickly. Because Reiki has inspired me. Do it, right? People want this, give them, show them. And that's so honored having you here and sharing your wisdom, because what you're saying means a lot to many people too. Thank you.